A really dear friend of mine on, and her name is Makenzie Schultz. She's the most infamous Makenzie Schultz. And I'm so excited for her to share her story tonight and just everything. I'm excited. It's going to be good. Chris, can you unmute?
I'm unmuted. Hey, hey.
Perfect. Hi. I know I told everybody we were interviewing you, and I got so much feedback about this. And I think it was definitely a meant to be situation, because I swear you were the most perfect person for tonight's call, for right now. And
so fast.
Yes. Yes. I've always connected, I feel, with you, a lot of reasons, but we both are photographers, and we both have lives that kind of the same, as far as, our husbands have, our businesses, and we have our businesses, and I've just always connected so well with your story, and I feel like this is just a really good time to be sharing it. So we're just going to hop right in, and if you could go ahead and just tell us a little bit about your journey along the way and all of that. So,
all right. Well, my name is Makenzie Schultz. Thank you for that awesome introduction. Okay, so almost 4 years ago, I was kind of living out my passion, living out my dream, everything I saw myself doing. I was a full-time photographer and had a pretty successful photography studio. My husband and I own a restaurant, and then at the time, our twin boys were 3 years old. So we were very busy people. I wasn't looking to do anything more. But we were kind of those people from the outside looking in that everybody thought, they have it all together. They do really well for themselves. Sure, they have no stress and no financial problems, and it couldn't have been further from that truth. We were silently struggling behind closed doors. We had a lot of debt piling up from my photography studio, from our restaurant, and there was months that we couldn't pay ourselves. If anyone else that's watching this and is a traditional business owner, you know that it's expensive to run a business. And unfortunately, the owners are the last ones to get their paychecks a lot of times. So we had a lot of those months where we were we can't pay ourselves. And that was really scary. How are we going to pay our bills? And there was no way we were ever going to be able to save anything. But we didn't really know what to do from there, because we were doing what we thought we were going to do for the rest of our lives. But both of our careers, especially mine, was if I wasn't physically there working each and every day, then I wasn't going to be bringing in any income. And that was hard, because I was working as much as I possibly could. I was missing out on so many moments of my kids while I documented other people's kids' moments. So when this business came into my life, I just wanted to be a customer. Honestly, I had seen the posts on Facebook. I had, kind of followed along with join my team for $99 and all that. But the girl I actually joined with, I didn't personally know. It was kind of a blitz. My mom was a nurse at the time, and Jamie Rosecrans had gone into her for a regular appointment and had talked to her about It Works. My mom kind of came home and told me a little bit about it, and I just was like, I want to try the products. So I messaged her on Facebook to try the products, and she threw out the idea of being a distributor. And immediately I was like, I'm not interested in that. I'd actually done another direct selling company a couple of years before that, and I just didn't like the feeling. I felt like I was a very much of a salesperson. That company was very high sales, where you wanted them to spend hundreds of dollars, and it just felt uncomfortable to me. So that's what I thought this was going to feel like too. And she's like, it's just $99. I'm like, $99? What? That's not what the other company was. And I thought, I probably have some mom friends. I know I have some other friends that are trying to lose weight. People that are just trying to feel better. I know they'd want to sign up. So maybe I'll just sign up and hope that I could make free product every month and just what I want to spend on myself. So I signed up on a total whim on April 2nd of 2013. And kind of from that moment, it was this moment of instead of taking this fear that had come over, I think we all get that moment of you wake up in the morning and you're like, what did I just sign up for? Why did I do that? I'm on these group pages. What is happening? And we panic and we get fear and we're like, we can't do this. Well, I took that fear and I turned it into determination. No, I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to make this work, and I'm going to make $500 a month. That's kind of what I, went for. And I started talking to anyone and everyone that would listen to me. And right away that night, I had a girls' night planned with some friends, and they were like, "Well, bring your stuff. We want to hear about it. We want to sign up for the racks." I'm like, "Okay, perfect. Well, this is easy, you know." So I said to Jamie, my sponsor, I said, "Hey, would you come to this girls' night out real quick? Just, girls get together for appetizers and drinks, and just help them sign up with the racks." She's like, "Sure." So I remember we get there, and she pulls out the party pad and starts talking to the girls doing, the loyal customer side of the party pad. And I seriously was like cringing. Like, no, they didn't want a sales pitch. They just wanted you to just sign them up and be done, And so I kind of let her keep going. And meanwhile, I'm like sweating and so nervous. And all of a sudden I realized, like, okay, people are listening and they're asking questions and they're interested, and maybe this isn't going so bad. So I kind of let her keep going. Well, then she flips it over to the join the party side and starts doing that. And that's when I seriously was like ready to crawl under the table, abort mission. Like, they don't want to be distributors. They like their jobs. They do well. I've had all these judgments in my head already. And again, they're asking questions. They're interested. They're not turned off. And I'm like, okay, I'll let her keep going. So there's 4 of my friends at that, girls' night out. And of those 4, 2 became customers and 2 became distributors. And that was like a huge eye-opener. I would say an aha moment, although it was my first day in the business. But it was, and this is a big reason why I went so fast, was because I realized from that moment forward that I could no longer judge anyone before I told them about the customer and the distributor option. Because that blew my mind. That 2 of those girls, I would have never in a million years have even asked to be a distributor, and they signed up right away. So I just started doing that with anyone that was interested. Anyone that wanted the products, I right away said, "All right, do you have any interest in extra income?" And I would kind of leave it at that. And people will answer you. And I would say a lot of people say yes, or yeah, but I'm not sure if I'm ready to be a distributor or whatever. But no matter what, it plants that seed. So months down the road, those people came back to me, not everyone, but a lot of them did. So I just did that. I did a lot of parties. And that first month, I actually promoted to Double Diamond, which at the time, you guys, I had no idea what I was doing, except for I was ignorance on fire. Like, I was just so excited. I had a ton of passion already for the products. And those fast start bonuses, when I got my first fast start bonuses, I was like, oh my gosh, this is insane. It's a Friday and I just got money loaded into my account. And, spending that $100 for me when I joined was a lot. That was hard for me to spend. So to get a couple hundred deposited the next Friday, because I just helped a few people get started and helped them get some customers, that was mind-blowing to me. So I went off of that excitement. So at parties, I simply talked about that. I just talked about our fast start bonuses in the beginning. And I had so many people that were intrigued alone by that. Not about the Ambassador Diamond average on those charts, you guys. It was the fast start bonuses that intrigued people, those $100 on Friday. And so I just went crazy fast. And now looking back, I understand how crazy it is to go Double Diamond in 28 days. But at the time, I didn't. So in a nutshell, that's the beginning of my story. I ended up promoting to Ambassador just shy of my 1-year anniversary. So I went presidential in 4 months, crazy fast again. I was still that ignorance on fire. And then Ambassador just shy of my 1 year. So here I am, almost 4 years now. My 4-year anniversary will be in April.
Like, my mind is blown. Every time I hear it, I get like how? But I know that some people do already know kind of your story and knew that you were how fast you went. What, like, I know you say like the ignorance on fire, like that was what really, really helped you, whatever. But was it did you talk to everybody? Like, do you feel like you already had like a really solid like warm market? Like, how did you just talk to anybody and everybody?
Yeah, so I did have a pretty solid warm market. I'm not going to say that I didn't, because I was a photographer. Even though I really did, I was pretty good about keeping that separate. I mean, the only people that were really my Facebook friends were friends, people that had clients that had become friends. So I hadn't tapped into that as much as I probably could have. But you guys, I made my hundreds list a lot, and I added to that a lot. And what I did was, the easiest way for me to do it was go to Facebook, click on all friends, and I just would get a huge notebook piece of paper and just start writing names. Because there were so many people on there that I'm like, I didn't even know that her and I were friends anymore. Because if you're not interacting with them, they're going further and further and further down in your algorithm, and Facebook's not even showing you guys anything. So chances are she probably hadn't seen any of my Facebook posts and didn't even know we were friends. So I started just writing names down, and I would every day try to go through that list. And every day I'd get a little braver and start checking off some of those chicken list people. Chicken list means people you're scared to message. But, I tried to stay very much a real person. So I don't want you guys to reach out to these people and be like, hey, get 40% off my products. Here's my website. That's not what I did. I tried to reconnect with them, send them a message. I would go on their Facebook, comment on something, like something so that my name was popping up, and then message them and just kind of throw it out there as almost just like a little afterthought, like, hey, I joined this business and I can't help but think of you. Have you ever had any extra or any desire for extra income? So I did that a lot. And like I said, that list lasted me a long time because I wouldn't message everybody at once. And I would kind of work on those people for a little while. And not everyone's going to say yes. Not everyone's going to even reply. But that was a huge thing that I did. And then we also started doing Wrapping Wednesdays. So every Wednesday we would have a party. Anyone was welcome to come. I had sidelines people coming that weren't even on my team. We just had a big party every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. Same place, same time. And we would just do the party pad. We would just do the party pad, and any sort of samples that we had there, we would pass those out like greens or ProFit if we wanted to do that, or do the Fat Fighter demonstration. And it was really great because it was consistent. So it was something people could count on. So not only were they signing up, say that night, then next week they could come back and watch the presentation again and understand oh, she did the same thing. She has the same jokes every time, realize this business is very duplicatable. It's very simple, because I would tell you the thing that scares people the most about this business is standing in front of a group of people presenting information. So when they're sitting there and they're like, I want to do this, I want to make money, but I can't do what she's doing. You have to kind of remember that too as a distributor. You don't want to be too polished. You have to be a real person. It's okay to sit on the floor. It's okay to just forget what you totally forgot what you were going to say. You don't have to have a presentation of any sort. Just be real. Read your notes, from the back of the party pad, and show people this is super duplicatable. But by them coming back the next week, they saw that. They got to see okay, it's the same thing over and over. And she's not doing anything special. I can do what she's doing. So train our new distributors as well as they can always bring a potential along. They can have their launch party that night. We just were like, you know what? We're all better together. Why are we having all these individual parties? If we're somewhat near each other, or our potentials are near each other, let's have parties together. So that really grew me very fast, and my whole team very fast, because we did those consistently every week for a couple months.
I feel like a lot of us, I can see across the board, just kind of had a major light bulb moment. Why aren't we doing all these things together when we all live, most of us live in the same area? It's I had this vision of 100 people in Fraley's, and you know what I mean? I think that's so awesome. And I know that you told me before, you launched. You launched. You'd go to this person, all the way down the line, and you made sure that you were there at the party. And I know that you did them, every single night for.
Yeah, that first month, the first month where I went double diving in 28 days, which is what you guys should truly be listening to, because if you're trying to go fast, that you're going to be doing something similar. You could be joined yesterday and you could do what I did. And I worked hard. I was still working full time, you guys. So it's not like I just sat at home twiddling my thumbs and all of a sudden was like, oh, this will be fun to do. I still had a business to run. I was still the boss. I was still the photographer. I was still I edited everything. I was still a very busy person, but I switched my priorities in any way that I could. I got up a little bit earlier. I stayed up a little bit later. I was tired. I did a party almost every night. We started doing parties. My first party was 2 days after I joined. I knew people were excited. So I was like, hey, can we do a informational meeting on Wednesday? And my sponsor, Jamie, was like, yeah, a party. I was like, okay. I didn't even know what it was called. I was just get these people together because they want to sign up. So, which sometimes if you have to do that, you have to call it a wrap session or call it an informational gathering, whatever you have to do if people don't like the word party. So I just did a lot of those. And then I started launching my distributors. And then at that party, if they had distributors sign up, then I would help launch them. And, I didn't go too crazy, but I tried to help wherever I could. And then that's when I realized we should just start doing these as one. But for that first month before we started doing weekly parties, I did a lot of parties. I was gone a lot. I remember a couple nights saying to my husband, I don't know if I can do this. This is so hard. This is a lot. I'm away from you guys. But you guys, I would never go back on that. I would never regret that time, because that first paycheck that I got people post their first paycheck and say like, look where I started. And I'm like, I can't, I'm not one of those people that can do that. It's inspirational in a good way because it shows you what's possible. But I went crazy that first month. So that first paycheck for me was like mind blowing on top of my commission or my fast starts I had already gotten. So, it's worth it. Like, that's what I'm going to tell you. If you're dedicated, it is so worth it to just go crazy these next, whatever days you have left, 40 some days, to go fast by the end of March. Do what it takes, truly do whatever it takes to get there. And it will be so worth it, because that paycheck on April 15th that you get, tax day, imagine that. On that day that you get that, it's going to be like, oh my gosh, I wouldn't do that over again. And guess what? You're just that much closer to whatever next goal that you have. And it's just going to be this crazy domino effect.
I love that. Sorry, SK just came down, so you might get a little SK in the picture. I was telling everybody today, I said, and it was another light bulb moment, and it's weird how those happen, but you've got to do something in the next 45 days that you've never done before in order to reach something that you've never had. And that just keeps replaying over and over and over again in my mind. And it's like, if you guys want these bonuses, you're going to have to put in the work, and you're going to have to do things that you've never done before. And maybe this is your, maybe you've been in the business for a year, maybe you've been in the business 2 years, or like me, 3+ years. Look back, think back, and figure out what it is that you haven't done yet, and then do that times 1,000 for the next 45 days. And like you said, like that check on April 15th and putting in that kind of work it's going to be so gratifying and so worth every single second of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that. Somebody did ask what your typical day is like.
Well, I'll rewind and tell you what my typical day was like, because I think a lot of people probably can't relate to like Alicia and I, that we like just wake up and we're like, what do we want to do today? And I'll tell you, I was much more intentional, and I got so much more done when I worked full time, because you have to. Like, you're like, I only have 15 minutes right now to do this. I have to do it right now. So what it used to look like I went ambassador working full time, you guys. So no excuses. And not only working full time, I was the boss. I had employees. I did payroll. I did a lot of things. So, and my job, as Ashley knows, like, it's not something where I can just have my phone right next to me, because I'm with clients. I'm taking pictures of their kids. I'm focused on them. We did sales appointments with our clients. So they came back, and then we had to meet with them and everything. So what I would do, you guys, I'd get up earlier. And that for me is hard, because I like sleep, but I was so dedicated to, this is going to change my life. I've got to do it. So instead of getting up at 7 or 7:30, what it was at that time, I got up at 6. And that first hour was everything that had happened overnight, because sometimes people messaged me overnight while I was sleeping and replied back to me. That was when I for sure posted something about the business and how things were going for me with this new venture. And that's when I also sent some follow-ups. So if I knew I had a few people that were interested that hadn't sent anything back overnight, I would check in with them again. Hey, just woke up, wanted to check in, see if today's the day to order that Confianza. And I would send all of those. And then while I was at work, a lot of those would brew. A lot of those things would start happening while I was at work. And then when I would have a break in my day, say lunch or something where I knew that I had a half hour or 15 minutes to do something, I would try to be as intentional as I possibly could. Not scroll Facebook, but go to my messages, go to my texts, go to wherever I know I'm going to be getting those message responses, and go right in there and start seeing where they are. And then, again, following up with all of them right then and there. And then kind of the same thing for nighttime. My kids were little at that time, so bedtime was crazy and all of that. And so I kind of would get them all settled. And then the next several hours, I love watching TV, but for that month, I don't think I watched any TV, I probably didn't. I was kind of crazy glued to my computer at that time, just I'm focused on this. And so that's when I would kind of go on my messenger again and do the same thing, be sure that I posted. So I would say I get at least 3 solid posts in during that time of my day, because I could do one in the morning, I could do one for sure at lunch, and I could do one for sure before bedtime, at least maybe, or 2 before bedtime if I did one earlier and then one later right before bed. So there's no excuse not being able to post on Facebook too. You should be able to at least do 4 a day about the business, about your life, incorporating the business into your life, incorporating the products into your life, sharing about what you're doing. And and then just following up again before you go to bed and staying up a little bit later. So at that time, I think I normally went to bed at like 10 or 11, and I would stay up until midnight. So I'd be getting less sleep, and I was tired, but again, so worth it.
Love that. Yes, lots of late nights ahead of all of us, I feel.
It's
if
fun
they haven't
though.
already started,
It's an adrenaline rush. It's good, you guys. Like if you get going on this, it's an addiction kind of. Like it's a fun addiction of like a game board of like, I have my game board. It's this diamond chart right here. This is my game board, and all I have to do is keep playing. And if I play this month, if I play it all out, I'm going to get this $10,000 bonus. I mean, it's crazy. Like we play Monopoly for fun. Like why don't we play It Works for real life, So do it over 45 days. Play your Monopoly for the next 45 days, and it's going to give you real money, not Monopoly money on April 15th.
That should be a t-shirt or like one of those.
Just came up with that.
Memes. This is why you're the millionaire.
I love what Alicia just said. You can sleep when you're a millionaire. Yes.
That's right. Yes. Amen. Do you have anything else, any other tips or anything that you kind of want to leave with? Anything that you've been maybe shared with your team to kind of motivate them to move forward in the next 45 days?
I would say you guys don't fall behind on your following up. I mean, the following up is always where the fortune is. So be so consistent with that. I mean, if you can try to do it every other day or something with those people that are really interested, but for sure at a minimum, following up on Fridays is a really great day to for sure have on your calendar because people get paid on Fridays a lot. And you're going to get a lot more yeses. At least I found I get a lot more yeses on Fridays than any other day of the week. So if you can be really consistent with that. If you guys aren't using the event reminder on Facebook Messenger, that is like my new favorite tool in the whole world. When you type in something like, say I was talking to Ashley on Messenger and I type in tomorrow, let's just say I say tomorrow to her. Facebook automatically underlines tomorrow and asks you if you want to create a reminder. So all those people that say like, oh, today's not good, but I'm ready tomorrow, or I'm ready Friday for payday, I click on that and I set a reminder. And then that way, Facebook reminds us. So we both get a reminder 30 minutes before that event is about ready to expire. And it's going to say, hey, you have an event coming up. And it's so awesome because then I can say, oh my gosh, Ashley, I totally forgot. Today's the day. Are you ready? Let's get you signed up. And it's almost like, you didn't know about this? It's a game changer. I do this all the time now because I was the creeper that just put people's paydays in my phone and then messaged them on that day. But Facebook gets to be the creeper now, and they get to be the one to be like, ding, 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 your reminder's up. And I've had people that, I had a girl the other day that she changed it for me. She was like, sorry, not today, and like changed it to Saturday. And I was like, all right, perfect. And then she did. She ended up enrolling. So I absolutely love that for following up. Use that tool. It's amazing. And I think now you can actually click on the 3 dots and you can just make one that way. Like you can click on set an event reminder and you can make one of your own. But Facebook will just underline any date that you write and you can set the time, everything. So that's really handy. I have a couple tips as far as like when you are following up with people are kind of like sitting on the fence, like how do you get them off the fence? So one thing that I really like to do is the if I would you. So if someone is like sitting, say for example, a distributor, someone's like just sitting there and they're not signing up and you're like, I've sent them everything. I don't know what else to like do or talk to them about. But like say, okay, Ashley has a photographer that wants to sign up and she's like, I know Mackenzie's story would really get this girl excited. So Ashley could say to her, hey, if I send you a call about a photographer that is very successful in this business, would you listen to it? So it's if I would you, and you kind of put that out there for them. And then you kind of know, are they truly interested or are they like, And if they say yes to that, then okay, great. That's one more thing I can send to them. So I like the if I would you. That goes for even if I get your information, would you just send me everything and I can enroll you? Sometimes people are just too busy. I love getting people's information to enroll them versus them going to my website because everybody gets so busy and they've, who knows what happens when they're getting ready on that website. Seriously, sometimes I'm like, did the witness protection program grab you? Like, what happened? Like, so I like just getting people's information. Then another thing I like is the what do you want, why do you want it, and what's stopping you. This is great for customers or distributors that you're talking to. If you are talking to a customer, and again, you know that they've been wanting the system, let's say, and they're not signing up. And so you can just say, okay, girl, it's 2017. What are your goals? And they'll say, I just want to lose weight. That's awesome. So why do you want to lose weight? Because I'm sick of feeling like this. I just want to feel better about myself. And I, blah, 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 blah. So what's stopping you? And that right there, and sometimes is enough for them to be like, I don't know. Like, I just told you what I want and why I want it. So why am I sitting here? Or sometimes you're going to get a legitimate response of, I'm waiting to payday. I'm worried it's not going to work. I'm afraid I'll fail. All these different things. And then you can approach those with the feel, felt, found. So if you guys don't know what the feel, felt, found is, another one of my favorites is this is just addressing people's hesitations, because if they aren't signing up, they're hesitant about something. So you can say, I totally get how you feel. So let's say that person said, I'm scared I'm going to fail. I totally get how you feel. Actually, I felt that same exact way. But what I found was it was just $99 that I was going to be spending, which is basically purchasing a box of wraps at retail. And I just decided that maybe a few people would want these products. So I just went straight in for it and just decided what would happen. What could this hurt if it didn't work out? And just that alone is them knowing like, oh, she felt the same way. She was worried she would fail, or she was worried she wouldn't lose weight, or even if you can't relate to it, I'll use somebody else's story. Like, I totally get how you feel. My friend Ashley felt that same exact way, but what she found was, and using that, and sometimes that is enough for people to say like, okay, let's do this. I'm ready, because just knowing, like, just you kind of coming down to their level and addressing that concern with them is enough for them to realize, well, I'm not going to be alone because she's helping me through this. So she's going to help me through the business. And I'm not the only one that feels this way. Okay, last thing is taking people off a list. So this is something I started, and I didn't realize it was a thing until I did it, and then realized like that actually works. So I had this girl who was, she was like ready to join for like 2 months, and every time I would message her, she would not respond about the business, but I would message her like about her cute new baby and like all this, and of course I get a response right away. So I was like, all right, how can I get back to the business, because she is ignoring me about the business, but I know she wants this. So I finally just started it out with like, again, your baby's so cute. Thanks for commenting on my photo today. It was so great. Hey, I was going through my list and I realized that your name was still on it as a potential distributor. However, I see that we haven't connected about that in a long time. Should I go ahead and remove your name from the list? And I sent that, and she signed up that night. So not always, like my mom, poor thing, she said that, and the first response she got back was, yeah. She's like, it doesn't work for me. I'm like, well, you know what though? At least you know that you don't have to waste your time on that person. If they truly said no, yeah, take me off your list, then you know that you were just wasting your time anyways. So, and she was like, that's true. So I would say for the most part, if they are truly interested in joining, they're going to say, don't take me off that list. And then you can go through all those other things that we just talked about. Then if I would what do you want? Why do you want? What's stopping you? And whatever else. Oh, feel, felt, found. Like then you can lead into one of those. So sorry, that was long. And
no, that's it's fantastic. Like I feel like this was a different approach, and I feel like we talked a lot about this at conference, and it's instead of chasing the paycheck, start chasing how to help change people's lives, and to help them lose weight or help them get out of debt. And by you saying things in this way, like you are genuine, like you really, really, truly are trying to help them. And that's what's going to get a better response than you being like, okay, you need to sign up now. Like, this is going to help me out. Like, you know what I mean? That's not what this is about. And I feel like your approach is so genuine. So
you have to make it about them always. Yeah. Because if you make it about yourself, then what is in it for them? Like, they're not interested. So you always have to make it about them and helping them. And this is not about your bonus. This is about helping them change their life. And we know that. Like, yes, we might be going for this bonus, but the more people we help along the way, the faster we're going to get to that bonus. So if you make it more about helping people, then it's just going to come back to you tenfold.
Yep, I love that. Love that. Do you guys have any other questions that you want to ask her? You can type in the comments. Sawyer's coming. Where's Daddy? He's upstairs.
Where?
He's upstairs. Can you say hi?
In the bed.
Hi.
Alrighty.
Oh, you're so cute. Hey.
Can we get wording on the message that you're sending out? Okay. Can I get the wording for the message that you were sending out? Was Paige's?
Yeah, it was super casual. So, and this was like, gosh, almost 4 years ago. So there's maybe some things that I would do a little bit differently. Like I said, like just really trying to connect with people first and stuff. But what I was sending out, and again, just kind of tweak it as needed, but it was super short. It was like 3 sentences. And it would just be like, hey, Ashley, it's so good to see you on Facebook. I can't believe it's been so long since we've talked. I love that we get to connect here on this, social media, and I get to see your kids, and they're just so cute. But I had to reach out to you because you've been on my mind a lot lately. And I don't know if you've seen my post. I joined a company called It Works Global, and it's changing my life. Have you ever had interest in extra income? So that was as simple as it was. I did not try to word bomb. I mean, there was a few messages that I sent out that I look back and I kind of cringe, and I'm like, well, no wonder they didn't respond because I just threw up all over their computer. So I would just say try to keep it simple. If you can, try to kind of connect with that person beforehand and throw that out maybe in another conversation or something, but keep it super simple. And it's all about building a relationship. That's what this business should truly be about. It's relationship marketing. So people are going to join you way before they're joining any sort of opportunity or business. They're believing in you. They're not believing in the product or the opportunity. So you have to build that belief with them. You're welcome, Paige.
Perfect. Do you guys have anything else? I think that was all I had written down. You did the seal the deal. I think we covered every question that we had, and I thank you so much for doing this tonight. I know that a lot of light bulb moments happen I know myself, and I know for everybody. I could see across the board, eyes were like, okay, yeah, that was good.
Good. Well, guys, I love quotes, if you guys don't know that about me. And one of my favorite quotes is, success is 99% your mindset and only 1% strategy. So you can sit here and listen to me talk all day long about the things I did or didn't do, but I promise you guys, I just believed I could do it. Like, I just was like, all right, let's do this. And I just went to work. So if you can sit here right now and just have that belief inside you, that's 99% of it. The other percent is trying to figure out how the heck to do it. So go for it. I'm glad you have a whole page of notes. Yay. So go for it, you guys. I can't wait to see all the bonuses explode next month. It's going to be awesome.
Yay. I'm really excited. Thank you.